friends, how are you doing? I'm doing well. Welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things knitting, crocheting, cross stitching, and kind of whatever else is floating my fancy at any given point in time. Right now, the thing that's floating my fancy is Vlogtober, where every week I will be posting about the different projects that I have worked on throughout the week, as well as talk about, some of the stuff that we've been doing throughout the week, so more in a vlog format than a podcast. So it's been really fun so far. I have a lot of cool things to show you, but before we get into that, let's talk about what I have finished over the past week and what I am working on. Start with something that I have finished, and this is a present for my husband, Scott. Our anniversary is on the 23rd, so I'm going to surprise him with this hat then. I say surprise in quotes because it's not quite a surprise. He actually bought this yarn a long time ago. I want to say it might have even been like 2 summers ago at this point. It's from Dragon Horde Yarn. It was 2 of her smalls yarns, so they're not full skeins of yarn, but they're not minis either. They're somewhere in between, and they are in Stranger Things themed yarn. They even came with an Eddie stitch marker in that, like, it looks like his guitar. It's really cool. So I wanted to use both of the yarns in this hat to show off them both, and fair warning, I have tons of yarn left over from this. That's one of the cool things about brioche, I feel, is that it goes a long way. So the red yarn and the bluish yarn are both Dragon Horde yarn, and then this other yarn is some yarn that I picked up over the holidays at, I think it's Pearls of Wisdom near Phoenixville. I want to say we were down there to visit some friends of ours and go brewery hopping, of course, duh. So I picked some of that up there. I'll figure out what the name of that yarn is and update my Ravelry page, so make sure to check it out. But it is mostly white, and then it has hints of gray, so I thought that would be a good background for the red and the blue. I think maybe it came out a little more patriotic than I would have liked, but in general, I think it's cool. I think he's going to like it, and you can see there is a little bit of pooling. I don't think it would be as noticeable if it wasn't, because it's so spread out on the brioche. But I don't dislike it, and it goes with the red really well, probably because it was a set. Surprise. So I didn't use a real pattern. I just found out how many I should cast on for a fingering weight hat and did it that way, and then I just knit in brioche all the way up. At this point, I did a row of regular knitting, and then I did brioche again, but then I alternated the blue brioche from the red brioche. So there's like a slight difference in where the bars line up. No one is going to notice except for me. I figured that out like as I was knitting it. I was like, wow, all that trouble for very, very, very little gain, but I still think it looks cool. Brioche is, of course, reversible, so here's what it looks like on the other side. You can see where I did the regular round of knitting to split it. I still think this looks pretty cool, so if he wanted to wear something a little more neutral, then he could go ahead and do that, but this is what he wanted, so I hope it fits him. I'll be giving it to him when he gets home from work tonight, but this is the last of my anniversary gifts for him, and we'll see if he likes it. After that, I just have a lot of stuff that I'm working on. Like, I have not been very quick with anything. I think because I'm working on so much stuff at the same time, which is fine. I feel like I just need to get stuff done, and this is the only way that I'm being able to do it right now, is to switch back and forth between projects. So my morning knitting socks are another pair of wizardry socks designed by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears, and I'm using my Lydia stitch marker because reasons. And the colorway is 3 by the Sea Grim Grinning Ghost. This was a mystery sock set that I bought from her shop a little while ago, and I opened it and wanted to make something immediately. And they're coming out great. I'm on the foot of the first sock, so I'll probably be done with that relatively quickly. This will probably be the project I work on at our Halloween party on the 28th, just because I'm going to try to take it slow this year and not crash by 9 o'clock, but we'll see what happens. But I think I can still get these done before Halloween. They really don't take long, and like I said, this is what I've been working on mostly in the mornings. But yeah, it's a really fun pattern. I've shown it to you like a million times now on the other socks, so I'm not going to repeat myself, but I do really just love, it's a little bit of squish and it adds just a little bit of garter to create some texture, especially when you're working with socks that you don't know how they're going to whip up in terms of pooling, stripes, whatever. I like to go with something that has a little bit of texture, but it does look like it's striping a little bit, maybe not intentionally, but I do like the way that the stripes are coming out. It is very ghouly. Then, because I'm hard on myself and I can't only work on things for me when the holidays are coming up, I need to work on things for other people. The Grim Grinning Ghost socks, I was debating giving to my mother-in-law for Christmas just so I could kill two birds with one stone. But as I mentioned in the last podcast, Scott convinced me to keep them because Halloween's kind of my thing. I went out of my way to buy a bunch of Halloween yarns that I thought I would like because this is my favorite time of year, so he convinced me to keep it for myself, and I'm not one to argue. Because of that, I did start on a pair of socks for my mother-in-law using another 3 by the Sea colorway. This one is called Lily Pond, and I'm using my Beetlejuice stitch marker from Charmed and Dangerous on this one because if I'm going to be knitting 2 different pairs of socks, I should probably have the best couple of our life to now. They're pretty dysfunctional, not the best couple, but still I should have Beetlejuice and Lydia on both of these socks. But I'm using just a basic blueberry waffle stitch because I love the squish of it, and I think they are gorgeous. I think she's really going to like these. She really likes these purple magentas, despite not being a big pink person like I am, but I think it's because it's the contrasting color, it's subtle enough that it's not like in your face. And most of the sock is like this gorgeous like teal with greens. It very much looks like a lily pond. I don't know if she based it off Monet's water lilies, but it certainly looks like she probably has. This is what my vision looks like when I don't have my contacts in. Love the color on this. I think she's really going to enjoy these socks. I have been working on these at night if the mood strikes me, and that's why they aren't very far along. I did take these with me to knit on when my friend and I went to go see the Taylor Swift Eras tour in theaters, and I dropped so many stitches like about halfway through the movie that I just had to stop. And so this morning I picked them up again, and this is back in the works. As you know, I have also been opening a daily Haunted Mansion Minis Advent from Fangirl Fibers, and I wasn't going to start making anything with them just because I have so many other things going on, but watching everyone else open theirs and the different projects that they have started making, I, being me, got impatient and decided to just start something. So this is as far as I am with that. Not much to show. I'm going to be making Lily's scrap blanket with this yarn, and I'm going to go in order that I opened them. So I think based on what I've been opening so far, it should be kind of a rainbow gradient-ish sort of looking deal. So the way this starts is you make a massive I-cord and then you pick up the stitches. So I'm in the midst of picking up stitches. 10 out of 10 will probably not have the right amount of stitches on my I-cord, so I'll have to figure something out. I never do. It's fine. And it's going to be like a ripple. So in the end, I think it'll end up being like a, maybe not a baby blanket, but like a toddler blanket size, which is perfect for like throwing over your lap when you're a little chilly. And I'm really looking forward to knitting this up. I have a few chores to do after I record this, but then Nitty Natty is doing a Rhinebeck live at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, of course. And so I think I'm going to take a break for my chores and knit on this a little bit while I watch that. All right, now that we have gone over everything that I'm working on, let's head into my vlog for the week. And then when we come back, we'll talk about my acquisitions. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vlogtober. I have got my mini heater on. I'm wearing a flannel shirt, and it feels like October / the Halloween season is officially here. Today's Fangirl Fibers Haunted Mansion mini skein was this gorgeous magenta. We all know that this is my color. It is themed after the Beating Heart Bride, which is probably my top character from the Haunted Mansion ride in Disney, and we all know I absolutely love this, right? I have been doing an aggressively mediocre job of keeping up with my ritual journal and daily tarot draw. I thought the High Priestess draw was, again, an interesting card for today, especially considering I had just watched, or shortly after this, I watched Vanessa over at Knitty Witch's vlog where she had also pulled the High Priestess. So very weird, but also very, I don't know, opportune. I'm the type of person who does tend to lean into my intuition. And anytime I try to rationalize that away, I make the wrong decision. So I thought it was a good reminder for both work and life to use my intuition to my advantage because it tends to work. I think I mentioned this on one of my last vlogs, or recently anyway, that our second anniversary is on Monday the 23rd, but I'm going out to dinner with one of my girlfriends tonight, and Scott wanted to give me an early anniversary present to wear out while I'm hanging out with her, and I am so excited about these. So these are Pinup Girl earrings. So you can see it's the pinup girl, but then she comes with different outfits. So you can overlay the different outfits on top of her. So here I have a witch, and then on the other earring right now I have a vampire, and it even has like red wine to put in her glass, or blood in the martini glass, I'm not really sure. But there's those different outfits. Then we also have, this is what she came in, kind of like a typical pinup girl sort of outfit. There's this little red dress that I really like. There's a mummy. There is a devil. And then here is the vampire one again. So yeah, I'm gonna wear these out tonight when I go out to dinner. They are super cute, super cool, super weird, everything that I like. So here's hoping I can get them in my ears. I don't know about you guys, but my ears close up all the time and it's really annoying. So I'm going to attempt to put these in for dinner tonight. This is the shop that he bought the earrings from, and I kind of want to go check them out. He said he had been following them for a while, and I had been looking at these earrings for a long time. These are the exclusive, I don't know if they're exclusive, but they're special Halloween versions of ones that are already in the shop. So yeah, if you're interested, then make sure to go check them out. I'm gonna go put these in and finish my work day. After my workday was over, I headed out to this delicious kind of NOLA themed restaurant that my friend and I really like for dinner. We haven't seen each other in a few months, so it was nice to catch up. And we even got these beignets, which on Tuesdays are only $1. Because we spent so much time catching up, my friend and I were at the restaurant for quite a while, and I didn't get home until relatively late for me anyway. So once I got home, I just kind of hung out with Scott and the dogs, all of whom were happy to see me, of course, and Ziggy missed me so much that he couldn't help but run up to me with his toy and hang out in my lap for basically the rest of the night until we went to bed, which honestly wasn't very long. And now we are at Wednesday, where once again my allergies have taken hold. At least I'm not sneezing. It's more like a sore throat from postnasal drip, but it is what it is. At least I had my Haunted Mansion yarn to open today, and it was another gorgeous pink color. Like, I really enjoy these color pinks, the very bright, rich pinks, and this one is themed after the birthday girl who blows out the candles. I don't know if I've told you, but the ballroom scene is one of my favorites, and that's where you can find her on the ride itself. But perhaps the most exciting part is I'm finally able to open my Little Wolf Knits 13 Days of Edward Scissorhands quote-unquote advent. So I was really excited to start digging into this one, and it was called Show and Tell, and this is what it looks like, and it's so pretty. It actually kind of reminds me of the beach or seashells or something like that, and I was really excited that this was the first one that I got to dig into today. So here's something that I thought was really cool. I pulled the Justice card today, and if you have been acting below board, or if you've been kind of a terrible person, then this is not a card that you want to pull. However, if you have been acting true to yourself and in everyone's best interests, then this is a great card to pull, because it means that you will start seeing the rewards of that, if you will. And that definitely came true for me today with all the stress that I've been going through at work and doing what we need to do to get above water, and, you know, just feeling like I'm going to scream most days. I finally feel like I'm starting to reap the rewards of that, and people are starting to listen to the things that I'm saying, and I know that it's still going to be a long time before things are perfect. Not that they will ever get perfect, believe me, but it finally felt like I'm seeing progress a few months into this role, and that really excited me. So I wanted to take a minute and explain this card pull for the day and how I think it actually worked for me today. I am still cracking down and being determined to finish another pair of Sockoween socks before Halloween. This is my second pair for the month, and I'm using that 3 by the Sea Grim Grinning Ghost colorway that I showed off in my last Vlogtober, and of course my Lydia stitch marker from Charmed and Dangerous. But because I have enough yarn to do so, I am making my standard longer leg. So of course these socks are going to take more time. I think I should be good though. I mean, worst case scenario, if I don't indulge too much at Halloween, I can spend some time at our Halloween party knitting on them as well. I think there's plenty of time to finish the pair of these socks, since I am already basically at the heel. So I think we'll be fine. I'm really enjoying the way that they're coming out though. My husband and I are interesting specimens in that if we have gifts for each other, they burn they burn holes in our pockets, and we can't wait to give them to each other. So I've been getting early anniversary presents all week, and I'm not mad about it. This one is from Foxglove Soap Company, which is a company that I heard about in one of my cross stitch boxes that I got last year, and I've been in love with them ever since. They make wax melts, they make candles, they make soap, obviously. So Scott got me this fall sampler candle box, and they all smell so delicious, and I'm really excited to start burning them. I know I've touched on the fact that I was thinking about giving my mother-in-law the Grim Grinning Ghost socks that I've been knitting on for Christmas, but I also have this yarn also from 3 by the Sea that I think is actually more fitting to her, and after Scott convinced me to keep my Halloween socks because I am who I am and I love Halloween, I decided to wind up the yarn for these socks instead and make them my evening project. The yarn is really gorgeous. It's still like those blues, teals, seafoam greens that she really likes, but then it has a pop of that bright purple magenta that she's really into as well. She has hinted to me in the past that she's not like a big pink person, but that is the type of pink that she really likes. So I went ahead and wound those up so I could get started on making her socks. I've also been chugging along with my goal of finishing one towel topper every day. I'm revamping my pattern a little bit, so we'll see how that pops out. But so far so good, and I'm hoping to get a lot of those completed over the coming weeks. But once I had finished my towel topper for the night, I had absolutely enough. So I started watching some other Vlogtobers. This one is Memily Makes, and working on the socks for Scott's mom. This time I'm using my Beetlejuice stitch marker / progress keeper because it only seems appropriate. Of course, the kids got tired, and Trixie is really loving this Squishmallow bed that I bought her, so I have to stop crafting and stare at her while she's doing it. And then Ziggy is just doing his thing every night. Like, I looked down, and this is where he was laying between Scott's legs, just being the cutest little monster that he is. I don't know how this is comfortable. Do your dogs do this? I don't understand. And then I got to reading my book I am on, In Defense of Witches, right now, and Ziggy loves when it's bedtime reading time. So that's how we ended our Wednesday. Thursday was supposed to be a night where we went out to celebrate our anniversary a little bit early. However, with all of my health issues, I wasn't feeling well, so we decided to stay home and take it easy. That said, I keep saying to cheer myself up, and this stuff really does cheer myself up. I had my Fangirl Fibers Haunted Mansion mini to open for the day, and it was another beautiful pink. I think I've said this before, and I'll probably say it again, but it looks like this is truly going to be some type of rainbow fade, which I am all about, to be honest. Also really exciting for me, once again, was the fact that I got to open up my next mini from my Little Wolf Knits 13 Days of Edward Scissorhands quote-unquote advent. I don't know what to call them anymore, you guys. Like, if you've seen another term, let me know, because it's getting annoying. But anyway, this is what the yarn looked like, and it's really pretty, actually. Beach tones with like the sunshine and whatnot aren't typically my colors, but I feel like at this point I've seen Brianna knit so many projects in very similar colors that they're starting to grow on me, and I think these are going to look really nice knit up together. Fritzy, of course, agrees. At this point, I'm honestly shocked with myself at being able to keep up with my daily tarot draws, but I'm really enjoying getting back into this. The Wheel of Fortune I thought was interesting, mostly because I've drawn some pretty good cards all week. This one has to do with good luck, sort of karma, I guess. What goes around comes around, and eventually you'll get what you deserve, karma. And I'm really feeling that way in my life right now, so interesting. Don't tell Scott, but I found this hat that I started knitting for him a while back, and my plans are to finish it by our anniversary on the 23rd. I am not super hopeful, but let's see where this goes. With Scott giving me so many of my anniversary gifts early, I decided to reciprocate by giving him this creator set that makes a number of characters, but he went for the witch, and I'm all in for it. Then is it really Halloween if you're not working on Christmas gifts and Christmas towels? I think not. While I got to town on more towel toppers, my parents sent us this really cute Halloween bucket full of candy from Popcorn Factory. So we decided to dig in a little bit and start a new series that just came out. So we tuned into the new Goosebumps series on Hulu, I think it is, which the first episode's called Say Cheese and Die, but it seems to be the theme for the entire series, and I think maybe every episode is named after one of the books, similarly to The Fall of the House of Usher, which we just completed, where there's an overarching tale, in this case The Fall of the House of Usher, and then every single episode is based on another Poe story. It seems like the Goosebumps situation is going to be similar here. I did have Scott make me a delicious gin and tonic as we were heading into the end of the week, and truly this is the best part of being an adult on Halloween. I guess that and watching my cat give himself a bath. At long last, the weekend kind of begins. Friday, I consider the beginning of the weekend, even if I have a lot to do at work. But, you know, still. And I am really excited to see this haunted house taking shape, to be honest with you. It gets even better, so just wait. The card that I pulled today was the Knight of Pentacles, which isn't one that I'm super familiar with. I do know that Pentacles, for obvious reasons, has something to do with money, but I'm not really strong on the court cards yet, or really any of them at all, but the court cards I'm particularly weak in. But from my understanding and what I was able to read about, this card has to do with kind of being boring, taking care of admin stuff in your life, planning things, making sure that you're consistent, and moving forward with your plans. After taking inventory on what my message is for the day, it is my favorite time of the morning, which is to open up all of my minis. Today's mini from Fangirl Fiber's Haunted Mansion set was Aunt Lucretia, and I enjoy the colors on this. If I had to tell you two of the markers that I colored everything in with as a child, it would be red and purple. So this brings me a lot of joy. And then it was also time to open the Little Wolf Knits, which I'm still not used to doing. So it's like an extra layer of excitement to every day when I go ahead and open these. So this one ended up being a little bit more of a neutral with some speckles of blue, and I'm not sure if it's like a dark pink or a red, but I'm kind of into it. Yeah, again, not sure what's going on with me, but these more neutral tones are really starting to take shape in my stash, and it's a little weird. Because I am a lucky girl, I got even more of my anniversary gifts early. I think, like I said, when we have gifts for each other, we can't keep them a secret. We almost have to give them away immediately if we have them. Scott has already gotten most of his as well. So, you know, what goes around comes around. But I'm really excited about everything. This is another, I think it's a Barbara Pellegrino necklace. She is my favorite jewelry designer, and she always has these massive stone necklaces that I really like. I'm anything but subtle, as I'm sure you're aware. And so this is really cool. It's gigantic. It's kind of sparkly. It's exciting. And it's heavy. So I'm really excited to wear it. And it's a longer one too, which I have a mix of longer and shorter necklaces, but I really like the long ones, especially in the winter, to wear with like a big sweater or something like that, and then you just have like a big honking piece of decor around your neck. So yeah. Then I saw this online a while back, and I send Scott a bunch of different things throughout every day just that I find interesting, and this is a Labyrinth tarot deck. So we're gonna have to pull out the cards and look at these. All right, so here is obviously the box. Like with most tarot decks, it comes with a guidebook as to how all these cards work, if you really want to take a look. I do like reading through the individual guidebooks because they tend to have a little more insight into the way the cards were designed themselves sometimes, so it's really cool to read through. But you know, if you know how tarot cards work, you know you don't necessarily need those. And then here are the cards themselves. Let's just take a look at a few of them. Oh, okay. Sold. I don't know, the artwork on these is pretty wild and amazing. I'm loving everything about these. I'll have to do a more in-depth, oh, I love that, a more in-depth look at them, or start using them in my morning draw. Oh, that's so cute. In my morning draw. but the artwork is really great. Sometimes you see tarot cards advertised and you just know the quality is gonna be terrible, or you just never know what it's going to be like, and then you end up buying it and you're like, I'm basically working with paper. But these are a nice cardstock that they're on. Oh, I love this. They're on a nice cardstock. The artwork is really good. And I mean, half the reason I collect tarot decks is for the artwork, to be honest. But yeah, this is really cool. Yeah, maybe I'll have to start going through. There you go. And they spelled judgment right. That makes me happy. I don't know, guys. This looks really cool. I'm gonna have to start using these, I think. Really like them. Good job, Scott. Then I got another yarn pocket from Cottontail Farms. I love her. It has this little frog on it because I don't know what's going on with me, but I'm going through a little froggy phase, if you will. And this one is not just like fall or Halloween themed, because now I have a summer themed one and I have a fall themed one, and this is, I guess it's still fall because of the mushrooms and stuff, but it's a little less in your face, I suppose, and he's just really cute. Then I got a bunch of earrings from Red's Rainbow House. This is another account, I think it's on Etsy, that Scott started following, and he's gotten me a few things from her now, and I love them all. This is one pair of earrings that are very obviously Halloween, but I will wear them all the time. I have a thing for both moons and bats. I just think bats are super cute. They look horrifying, and I used to think they were horrifying, but when you take a look at them up close and stuff, they're actually really adorable. So, big shiny bat earrings. And then he said he got me these because I'm his Sabrina Spellman, and I really like it. It's black and it's sparkly. Of course, there are two because earrings, but they're really cute. So now I have to figure out where I'm wearing these. Maybe I'll wear them when we actually do our anniversary dinner. This is the box that he gave me all my jewelry and stones and stuff in. So I really like that. That's going to be cute for probably, I don't know, maybe some sewing notions, because I'm insane and getting into English paper piecing, and I'm gonna need some storage for those types of needles and threads and things like that. So maybe this will be the start of storage for that adventure. This is a notions bag from an artist that we like. That is featured on Atomic Drinkware. You have seen those glasses many times. At this point, we have a set of Halloween glasses that have mid-century modern artwork on them, but they feature things like spider webs and bats and ghosts and things like that. And we got some for his sister for Christmas that have flamingos and things on them because she likes flamingos. So really like the artwork on those glasses. Apparently the artist sells other pieces. And of course, Scott went for the black cat because, as we all know, I'm a little obsessed with my little black cat. I'm pretty sure he's my familiar. So I love this notions bag, and it's going to get a lot of use. This is another goodie from Foxglove Soap Company that he gave me separately from the candles. This is their wax melts, and this is one of my favorite scents from them. I think Scott got me this before for Christmas. He got me like a bunch of different scents that they make, and this ended up being my favorite. So I casually hinted back in the day that we were running low on Secret Garden and I could use more. So he got me some of that, and I'm really happy about it. Our hallway is gonna smell so good. Then we have Azul, which is one of my favorite games that we play. We don't play it nearly often enough. There are different versions of Azul, and then there are different variations of Azul. So essentially it is a tile game, which we have the original, and I want to say there is like a stained glass window version, and essentially you have to make a specific pattern with the tiles. I forget exactly how it works, but this version is with chocolates. So that'll be really fun. I really like when you have a game that you enjoy playing and they come out with some different varieties for you to play with just to keep things interesting. So I really like this. In terms of variations, there is a garden version of Azul, which the rules are completely different and you're doing a completely different thing, but the idea is similar in that it's a strategy game and you have to collect certain things along those lines. And I think there's another one that's like a completely different variation on Azul as well. But we have a bunch of different ones of these. I hadn't seen the chocolate one before, so I'm looking forward to playing that, hopefully on our anniversary. Also from Barbara Pellegrino, Scott got me this really cute, I guess I shouldn't say cute, right? It's a necklace that I really like. It's a skull and it's wearing a gold crown. They are separate pieces, so they move around, which makes it kind of fun to play with, but I really love this necklace. Then he also got me these really cute stones. One is a bat, one is a ghost. So I lit one of the new candles that he got me so I could show you what the bat looks like. It is so, I don't know, I really love the colors on it, and the little ghosty is sparkly and just super adorable. We all knew this day would come, and that day is when my camera didn't record me sticking the sticker. So here's what the sticker was for Saturday, October 21st. It was the smoke coming out of the chimney, and again, really love the way this is taking shape. I've decided that I will never get tired of opening a new mini every day, and that is why I have purchased approximately 4,000 yarn advents for Christmas. So look forward to that. Today's yarn was Uncle Lucius, which was this beautiful kind of, I don't want to say maroon, but it is kind of maroon, isn't it? Maybe like a wine color. Just generally really pretty, and I think it's going to look nice with all of the other pinks that we've been getting recently. Not to be outdone by my Haunted Mansion minis, I also had the Little Wolf Knits 13 Days of Edward Scissorhands minis to enjoy, and this particular colorway was called With These Hands. As you can see, it was, I don't know, I guess a little bit more on the neutral side, but then it also has like these bright pops of reds and some browns, and it looks either gray or blue. I think blue is what was getting picked up when I was taking a look at this, and you know, just generally I really like how these colors are playing together so far. Because I had plans on Saturday afternoon, I decided to spend my morning relaxing and knitting on Scott's hat a little bit, trying to make more progress on that, while also enjoying one of these Halloween ambiance videos. I don't know if you guys have seen these things, but they've been around for a while and they're pretty fun. Believe it or not, my plans this afternoon were to go see the Ears tour in the movie theater with my friend Jess, who you probably all know as Same Old Knit over on Instagram. We had a really good time giving, you know, Taylor the old groupie groups, and then we, I don't know if you've ever been to a movie tavern, but it's really fun. You get to order food and they bring it to your seat and you just get to enjoy your movie in peace. So I got to have lunch, I got to watch Tay-Tay, and I got to knit. By the time I got home, chores were basically out of the question, which I'm sure you could have all guessed. And I was getting more and more impatient that I hadn't started any type of project using my Haunted Mansion minis. So I went ahead and wound the first color. It does turn out that I wound the wrong first color. It is a little bit more yellow than it should have been, but you know, we're just gonna roll with it. It's fine. I am too deep into this project now to tear it back. But I did spend a significant amount of time winding the yarn, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It was a really nice way to relax on Saturday night. On his way home from work, Scott stopped at his parents' to pick up some fresh apple crisp that his mom had just finished making. Absolutely delicious. And then I spent the better part of my evening working on the latest issue of Knitability. So here is a sneak peek. Kay did a DPN sock knitting series to coincide with Sockoween. So if you want to check it out, make sure to go to their Patreon and subscribe. I had big plans for today, Sunday, but all of those plans for the most part involved crafting. So, you know, I can't really complain that that's all that I did. I finished watching Practical Magic, which I had started on Saturday night while I was working on my Haunted Mansion blanket. So come Sunday, I really needed to finish that. Such a good movie. And I knit on Scott's hat. We are getting closer and closer to the end of October, which means you can stop hearing me say Haunted Mansion Advent once and for all in about a week. Today's yarn was this really pretty gray, pink, and red that Trixie was super into. She's been really into these mini skeins, I have to admit. But not so much into Little Wolf Knits, which is good for me because I'm getting a little irked with how she somehow rolls around in them and gets her fur on everything, but it's fine. I love that she's a girl after my own heart. Today's 13 Days of Edward Scissorhands yarn was this gorgeous neutral green color. I really like these colors together. I like that they are a little toned down, which I know that's weird for me, but it looks really pretty. For those of us experiencing the inevitable Rhinebeck FOMO, Nitty Natty was gracious enough to give her members a peek at what was going on at the fairgrounds. So we all hopped on Zoom and she did a live to walk around, kind of show us what was going on. The crowd seemed to have died down a lot. So I had gone to Rhinebeck a few years back, I want to say it was 2016, on the Saturday, and it was insane, and I've heard it's gotten worse. So I enjoyed watching it from the comfort of my own home while I worked on my Haunted Mansion blanket.
Take your hat off. Close your eyes. Put this one on. Oh good, it fits.
I can't see it.
I can.
I can't see it!
I did it.
Yay!
You can stop bothering me about it now.
Yay!
So I was working on all weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have tons of yarn left over, so.
For our anniversary, I got Scott the new Super Mario Brothers game, Wonder, which I'll get into why that's important in a minute. But the knitting group that I co-manage got on to Teleparty and watched Casper, which is the Halloween movie that makes me cry, and it was so worth it once again. But while I was watching the movie, Scott was playing the new Super Mario Brothers game in the background, where Mario is an elephant, and an elephant is Scott's favorite animal in the world, so of course I had to get him this game, and he loves it. And that brings us to October 23rd, our actual anniversary. I was hoping for something really cool to get as the sticker, but it was just this window. Wah. But to make up for it, Scott had another surprise up his sleeve, which was more artwork. So this artist, who I have her business card at the end, I think it's a she, has this artwork. She had like a Halloween bundle. So of course there was Midsummer artwork. I love the movie Midsummer. It is, again, so weird and wonderful. Then Miss Argentina from everyone's favorite Halloween movie, Beetlejuice. And then we have Wednesday and Buffy Summers. They are my dual personalities, I think. I'm a big fan of Wednesday, big fan of Buffy. They're both a little goth, both a little cute, everything that I aspire to be. So I was really excited about that. And this is the artist, so I would recommend checking her out. We are heading into some new territory today with the Haunted Mansion yarn. Today's yarn was this gorgeous purple, and I don't think we have really had a purple yet. Maybe we did.
I don't remember anymore. There's so much yarn going on with all these advents, but I really like this shade of purple. It's maybe like a plum. It's very autumnal, and I would say that if I was going to knit a purple, this would probably go with everything. It actually goes with the shawl that I just finished in early spring. Then for Little Wolf Knits, more yarn. This was a really pretty yarn that was, of course, pink, which is why I thought that it was pretty. No shame in my game. And there have been a couple pinks and reds now, so I think this Advent 13 days is really going to coordinate nicely once I figure out what to make with it. If you guys have any ideas about what to make with 13 minis and a full skein of yarn, I am all ears. I'm thinking some type of cowl. I don't think color work will work, but it depends on what the full skein is, so we'll see what it turns out to be. Anyway, aside from it being our anniversary, not a whole lot of exciting things happened today, mostly because, you know, I work. But after I was done for the day, I threw my yarn in a bag and we went to one of our favorite local breweries for our anniversary dinner. Scott got a cheesesteak and I got a chicken quesadilla, which were both really yummy, and we had some really good drinks. But decided to call it an early night because we were both tired and I have to work tomorrow. So once we got home, we cuddled up with the dogs and a drink. This is some apple bourbon concoction, I think. And we watched another episode of Goosebumps, and then Scott once again played the new Mario game where he spent most of the time being an elephant, of course, because why wouldn't you? With that, we are calling it an early night. This vlog, I think, is going to be over an hour, which is kind of ridiculous if you want my opinion. So I'm gonna go to bed and I'm gonna read. And Mowgli is going to make biscuits on my belly, as he does, because he's adorable. And I will see you in the next one.
And that is it for this week. Sad to say that I didn't get to everything that I wanted to get to because I wasn't feeling well. I'm never feeling well. I'm always sick. I have so many health issues. That's why I'm here talking to you people. We did still get a lot of fun things done. We are blowing through our Halloween movies, probably not as quickly as other people have, but I feel like I'm watching a decent amount. Even if Scott doesn't want to watch something, I'll watch something on my laptop and get them out of the way, like Practical Magic, things like that. So yeah, let's get into all of the stuff that I got this past week because I cannot stop buying. It seems like I am finally making progress on a bunch of things in my stash, like all of my minis. I know what I want to do with them. I have a bunch of skeins of yarn that I also know what I want to do with them. But then Halloween comes out and every single dyer everywhere wants my money and they deliver. So let's take a look at some of the things that I acquired over the past week. If you've been following me for a while now, you know that I subscribe to the Super Glow Fiber Lisa Frank Tarot Glow monthly yarn box. And that's all the Super Glow yarn that I have from her. But she released this neon pastel skein of yarn for Halloween that I could not look away. I could not look away. So of course now I own it, and this is what that looks like. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but it's gonna be something special because it's so pretty. It is, like I said, pastel-ish neons, which is nothing I ever thought I would be into. I used to say that pastels were colors that lost their wills to live, and now here I am with an entire pastel stash. Maybe it's because my job has made me lose the will to live. I don't know. I feel one with the yarn now, but this is so beautiful. And it's called Trick or Treat. It's on her Sock One base, which is 75/25 superwash merino nylon. And I also bought the Progress Keeper that came with them because A, it matches the yarn, and B, it's Halloween themed, and it's a happy little pumpkin heart, and I could not resist. And then because I don't already treat myself enough, something that I don't have for whatever reason are like the needle toppers. And she had these sparkly little needle topper skull heads that are now mine. So these are my one and only needle stoppers. I'm going to play around with them, see if I like them. I probably will. And then I'm probably going to buy a billion more. I also subscribe to a full moon monthly sock set, which I don't know if she's going to continue it after this year, but I think I'm just going to do it for this year. I've loved all the colorways, but I like to do something different every year. So Pancake and Lulu does this monthly full moon colorway that she makes and sends out. And this one I just have to show you. It's for October, obviously. It's the Blood Moon colorway, and this is my favorite one to date because I'm sure you can understand. We are talking purples, we are talking pinks, we're talking reds and some grays, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So in your subscription, you get this, and you get a little bag of tea, and you also get a description of what the Blood Moon stands for. So I just thought that was really cool. I personally enjoy following the moon cycles. It's a good way to take inventory of different things in your life, what you should let go of, what you should start doing. And for me, that type of thing works to check in on myself. And so I just think this is interesting and coincides with something that I like to do, as I don't want to say self-help because I hate when people talk about this type of thing in terms of self-help, but it really, in a lot of ways, it is. I don't think I can contain my excitement for this next yarn that I got. It is from another yarn from Pancake and Lulu, and she does this Knitflix club where every month she picks a movie and dyes a yarn set to coincide with the movie. And this month's movie was The Love Witch, which you can rent or buy on Amazon Prime. I had never seen it before, and I looked it up, and it seemed interesting enough for me to take a look at. And I liked the color palette that she had displayed on her website, so I was like, I'm probably going to want this, but let's watch the movie first. So I did, and now I'm obsessed. Some backstory is it's filmed like it's the 1960s, so it has a very like mid-century modern feel, very like warm film types and everything like that. But it's really good. I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. It's bizarre. It's filmed like an old school movie. The plot is ridiculously insane, and I'm here for it. So anyway, go look it up, go watch this movie, and tell me if you think it's weird and wonderful too. But this is the yarn that came with it. So this is what the yarn looks like, and it definitely has like the rich palette that you find in the movie. Very deep purples, some pinks, a lot of browns. I really enjoy it, and it's sparkly. So I really, really like this. So it's a sparkle fingering sock, which is 75-25, superwash merino, nylon, and stellina, of course, because sparkle. And that's what that looks like. And then I splurged and upgraded to get the coordinating contrast skein just to see what it was like, and this is what that is. If these colors don't scream like her apartment, I guess. This is basically where all the colors in her apartment, maybe missing some like bright reds or something, but this is like if you walked into her apartment in the movie, this is the vibe you would get. So I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Then we get some extra little treats with it because obviously it's a box. So this made me laugh because the main character does cat wing. She wings out her eyeliner, and I actually was going to get something like this because for my Halloween costume I was actually going to get something like this and use it as lip liner, so it comes in handy. But as you can tell, I always wing my eyeliner as well. It's just something that I started doing years ago, and I will never ever stop. So I was really excited to get this eyeliner. Then we get some magical little things, like we have this moth pin that's really pretty. We get a bag of tea. We get some tarot card stickers. So something I found interesting is that her apartment is based on a tarot deck, and it's not the Rider-Waite tarot deck. It's, I forget what the other one is called, but it's the other tarot deck that's not quite as popular as Rider-Waite. It has completely different imagery and symbolism. So it's not a deck that I use. The moth is on some soak in a really pretty purple color. It's called Lacy. But yeah, so tarot doesn't necessarily play a huge role in the movie itself. I guess to an extent it does. There's a lot of artwork in there that's reminiscent of artwork on the cards, specifically this other deck that her apartment imagery is based on. And I just found that to be really fascinating. I kind of got a little obsessed with the movie to the point that I went down a rabbit hole afterwards and was reading all about this. So I love these little tarot stickers. As you know, I do tarot, so exciting. Something else that's interesting and has nothing to do with anything other than the movie itself that we're talking about right now is the fact that the writer designed, I think, all of the clothing in the movie, like over a number of years. So when you go to watch it and you decide that it's eye candy, because it is, you will be wowed by the amount of handmade clothing in this film. Last but not least, we get this candle that is called Love Spell Magic Candle. It is black. It has a very light scent, but it's really nice. And so the whole premise of the movie is that she keeps casting these love spells and ends up killing the dudes that she casts them on. Again, it is weird. It is weird, and I love it. So this is what the candle looks like. We have some cool imagery on it. It looks like the sun and the moon. Again, imagery related to tarot. But yeah, so that is the Love Witches box that Pancake and Lulu put together, and I encourage you all to watch it before the end of the holiday season because I thought it was really cool. I don't know, you guys might judge me for it when you see it, but I was a big fan. Last but certainly not least, Crazy Sock Lady finally got to me with all of her English paper piecing, so I bought some kits to try it myself. Keeping in mind that I don't know how to sew, like, at all. I can do some very basic things, so this is going to be a learning experience, and that's fine. We'll see where it goes. But I got these two kits. One is Tula Pink Daydreamer fabric, and another one are some solids that coordinate with it. So if we take a look, and it comes with everything you need, allegedly. I guess we'll find out. But it comes with your hexagon templates that you sew around, and then your pre-cut hexagons. And I really liked this fabric. It's very, it looks like it comes with all colors on the rainbow, but it gravitates more toward like pinks and teals and stuff like that, which is more in my palette. So I was interested in getting this one, like that type of design aspect. I don't know. I was really excited about it, and I have no idea when I'm going to start this stuff. And then it comes with a magnet and your needle and everything like that. The only thing it didn't come with was basting thread, which I have since purchased because I got nothing. And I don't know when this is happening or how it's happening and why I continue to do this to myself. But here we are with a new craft that I needed. Like, I need another hole in the head, and that's okay. That's okay. We're growing together, and it'll be fine. That is it from a crafting perspective. I am literally minutes away from finishing the 4th book in the vampire knitting series. I was listening to the last like half hour while I was getting ready to film this. So when I go off and do my chores, I'll probably put that on in the background and be done with it, and then start the 5th one as well. I also finished The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I was kind of disappointed in the ending. The book I found to be really good and gripping. I was blowing through that thing, reading so many pages every night despite how tired I was. And then the ending let me down. It felt very rushed. It felt very wrapped up for the sake of wrapping things up. It felt very odd, and not like odd in the love witch, this is great sort of way. It felt odd like, oh, I could have done without the last 20 minutes of this book. But I did finish it and it was good. And I would recommend it for, you know, spooky season when you're looking for some type of haunted mansion thriller to read. I do think it was good for that. Just don't expect a lot with the ending. And I know that can be disappointing, but to me it's the process of reading than it is necessarily the ending of the book. And I really enjoyed the process of reading this one. So I would recommend it. That means I finally started reading In Defense of Witches, which is the Feminist Book Club Book of the Month for October. It is good. It is very historic and written like a college essay. So even though I'm enjoying learning about it and reading through the book, I'm not blowing through it like I was with the thriller because there's a lot of information to absorb. And I like to read before I go to bed, so I get like 3 pages in before I'm already tired. So those types of books, I really enjoy them, but they do make me tired when it's like 10 o'clock at night and I'm trying to go to sleep. So not relaxing in the slightest, but I am enjoying it. It's very interesting. And in the beginning, they tell you to think about the first witch in media that had an impact on you. And they specifically mention Eglantine Price from Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And I don't know how many of you have seen Bedknobs and Broomsticks, but I was obsessed with that movie as a child. So I don't know if Eglantine Price was maybe my first witch that I ever was introduced to, but I do think she was the first witch that ever had like a huge impact on me because I used to watch that movie over and over and over again. I loved Angela Lansbury. I watched Murder, She Wrote like a child probably should not be doing, and I loved that movie specifically. I did watch it again before I went to Disney this year and it didn't resonate the same as it did when I was a kid, but when I was a kid, when those soldiers started moving and taking on, you know, the bad guys and all that, I was like, I want this. I want to be a witch. And now I'm an adult and I can be if I want to be, just not in the same way. But I thought it was interesting. And it was kind of exciting in a weird way to have them be like, so who was the first witch that had an impact on you? And I really had to think about it. And yeah, I think it was Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Kudos to Angela Lansbury. Well, friends, that is all for this week. I've been rambling now for quite a bit. I hope you enjoyed what you saw and look forward to the next episode, which is the last one for Vlogtober. That seems crazy, but here we are. Again, if you liked what you saw, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me reach other people who might also enjoy the content as well. Plus, I really enjoy engaging with everyone either here or on Instagram or both, you know, whatever. So I hope to see you around in the next video, which is going to have footage from our Halloween party. Really excited for that. And yeah, I hope everyone has a really great and exciting week leading up to Halloween. This is it, guys. It's here. I'm so excited and I can't wait to put on my Halloween costume and show you what I've been planning since July. So I will see you then. Bye.